In this video, we're going to take a look at the angry vegan cult who are coming after me. They're calling me out. And Vegan Teacher, the famous vegan teacher, is at the forefront of this campaign. Let's jump straight into it.
Well, I am super proud of our little Jade for Justice, who I helped name her accounts ages ago.
Here
she
she
used
is.
to be called something else, and I said Jade for Justice would be an amazing name for you. And now, here she is on Isaac Butterfield's
I
channel.
need to do some explaining before we get into this video. And ladies and gentlemen, it's important to know that this video is not about just Vegan Teacher. There's about 4 or 5 other vegans, YouTubers, that have come out and attacked me. So we need to get through Vegan Teacher's video first and then get onto these guys, because their attacks, even though they're not as well known as Vegan Teacher, are more fun and more hilarious. Not too long ago, I made a video about someone called Jade for Justice. I stumbled across her trawling through my Instagram algorithm. She popped up and I watched her video, and she went on to explain, well, why don't I get her to tell you?
Being vegan is like being a child abuser. I'm gonna keep on eating animals, and that's my personal choice. That's fine, that's your personal choice. I'm gonna keep on assaulting children, and that's my personal choice. What? But the children are unconsenting victims. Yeah, but I need to have sex for my health. You could just masturbate or find a consenting adult. Children are never able to give informed consent.
Yeah, she said that. She made that comparison. Now, I, as a meat eater, was taken aback by that, because I thought to myself, hang on a second, are you? In no world is eating meat anywhere near what you just explained. The comparison, the arguments, the defense, it's not even the same wheelhouse. So shut up, Jade. Anyway, Vegan Teacher's obviously seen this, and she's gone in to defend Jade for Justice. That's why her video is called Here's Why Jade for Justice is Smarter Than Isaac Butterfield. Okay, let's have a look at what Vegan Teacher has to say. By the way, my book, it's hit the bargain basement at 60% off for Black Friday. That's how good this book is, all right? If you don't buy it, you're a fool, because you can just buy it and use it for, lighting fires and kindling and shit, ladies and gentlemen. 60% off from the 19th of November all the way to the 7th of December. So go and grab Better Man right now at isaacbutterfield.com. Oh, and free shipping. All right, back to Vegan Teacher.
And now, here she is on Isaac Butterfield's channel.
Congratulations, Jade.
Kicking his butt and even getting him to admit that he stopped drinking cow's milk.
I haven't drunk cow's milk in a very long time. It doesn't agree with me. It makes me poo.
Way to go, Jade. The first thing you're going to notice is that Isaac Butterfield, instead of commenting about what she is saying, he's going to comment about the quality of her camera.
Are you filming this on a fucking iPhone, filming an iPhone? Lady, Jesus Christ. This is it's like, I know you're a teacher, but this is the equivalent of wheeling in that massive TV on that wheelie thing with a VCR at the bottom of it and making the people at the back of the class squint their fucking eyes to watch your shit documentary, okay? This is not good YouTube. Essentially what you have done is made a mockery of every YouTube video and every YouTuber ever. Shame on you.
This is called a red herring fallacy. This is when somebody tries to distract you with another issue instead of talking about the issue itself. It could also be called an ad hominem attack, because he seems to be indicating that she is somehow poor because she can't afford a fancy camera, which has nothing to do with the arguments that she is making.
Listen, I don't want to come across as rude, but I hate poor people. Despise, in fact, if you catch public transport, you should be the first one sent to war. Okay? You're a grub. Disgusting.
What is your identity exactly? Your identity is to be proud that you have dead animals here and in your intestines. You also pay people to rape, torture, and murder animals, and then you continue to force them on your child. Do you think that's okay?
Remember when she made a video all about my 2-year-old? She's a fucking wild woman, I'll tell you that.
Did your son consent to have the bodies of innocent animals put into his mouth?
Atticus, my beautiful 2.5-year-old now, or 2 3/4, he loves meat. He's grown up eating meat. He finds it delicious. In fact, he finds vegetables horrifying. So There you go. But yeah, he naturally goes towards meat and always has done that. And that is because it's built into our DNA as human beings to consume meat. It is the most nutritious, it is the most nutritionally dense meal that we can get our hands on. In fact, if you just look at things like protein, it's pound for pound better than everything else by a country mile. And that's not just about the amount of protein per 100 grams or whatever. It is also the amount that your body can digest. It is much more bioavailable. You can get it into your system quicker, better, faster, strong, etc. Okay, the debate is done. You can absolutely live a fine life as a vegan, but it sucks and you suck. Okay, I'm going to skip through this because what we're doing is watching her finger me. So let's just fucking skip along, all right? Let's skip along and see if she says anything interesting. Because, and this is the crazy part of this video, because we need to get to the other vegans that have come out and actually filmed themselves having a good old crack at me. Even though I don't drink milk, and I think it's weird how many people drink milk.
There you go. He has finally stopped drinking milk. We have been
Oh my
telling
God,
him.
there's captions on the screen. So you could fucking work out how to put captions on in Final Cut Pro or Premiere, but you couldn't work out how to not have to film your fucking iPhone, lady. Jesus Christ.
Telling him to stop drinking milk for years, and he finally concedes that it is absolute insanity.
Babe, I've been on the old almond lattes for about 10 years now. I don't know what you're talking
To
about.
suck on the teats of another animal because...
I do not suck on the teats of anyone. But what I lack of sucking on the teats for cow milk, I make up for with like whey protein and shit, which is just made out of cow milk as well.
He realizes finally he's not a baby, he's not a cow, and so he drinks soy milk now.
I definitely don't drink soy milk. Soy milk is terrible for you. And if you drink it, you are a beta cuck of the highest degree. Even if you're a female, let me know in the comment section what the female equivalent of a beta cuck is. That is you. I love that she's drawing on me like she's doing the play-by-play, working out where the holes in the defense are just to sort of make an example of me. Good on you, babe. You fucking really have achieved nothing in this video thus far. I'm only 2 minutes in. Let me skip through the video for you and see if there's anything worth talking about here.
And let's see what else Jade has to say here. Good job, Jade, by the way. Stick to your ground. Stick to your values. Very proud of you.
Okay.
Time to sing.
I found something. She inserted an ad in this video of herself.
Don't eat chickens, don't eat eggs, don't eat anyone who has wings.
Why don't you eat eggs?
Don't eat cows or cats or dogs or pigs. Eat lentils, beans, broccoli, potatoes, carrots, and figs.
All right, let's move on to the second vegan who's going off their absolute melons at the moment. And this guy is the king of the cucks, okay? This is Mick the Vegan. Welcome to Mick the Vegan's life. And he sits behind a camera and spouts absolute fucking nonsense and in his very soft-spoken way. And I'll let Mick do the talking, shall I?
Hey, it's Mike here, and today a good
His
old-fashioned
name's Mike. Sorry, Mike.
response video to Isaac Butterfield, straight up hating on vegans, and in particular hating on a smaller vegan creator, Jade for Justice.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody hates... Oh, he fucking even, credited old little Butterfield here. How good's that? Okay, so I've watched a little bit of Mike's video, where his fucking name is, and he makes a couple of points that I think are important. He says that Jade was not equating the exploitation of children or the attack of children and animal eating. She was just making an analogy. And okay, fair point. She's not saying it's exactly the same, okay? But she is saying that it's a personal choice to do these things, and that's the analogy that she's using. Okay. So what I say to that is pick a different fucking analogy. Because when you use those two analogies, people don't listen to your point as a vegan. They listen to you as a fucking crazy person making an insane video. Okay? That's the difference. So all you really have to do there is just make a, decent argument instead of saying, hey, it's my personal choice to attack children, and comparing that to, oh, it's my personal choice to eat meat. People don't listen to your argument. Even though you may have a decent argument, you may say that factory farming is absolutely disgusting and the way that we cramp animals in together is a disgrace and it should stop, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But no one is listening to that. They're only listening to what you said at the very start. People switch off. And that's why people don't like vegan people, is because they come out with these ridiculous claims, these ridiculous attacks, and then no one listens. And maybe in the reality, they had a fair point. Maybe we should listen to all different sides. But when I attack a vegan, it's usually because they've said something fucking stupid. I wanted to live react to this next bit from Mick the vegan, because I haven't watched what he says about what I say, but what I'm about to talk about is the idea that if you allow the natural progression of life to happen out in the wilderness, an animal is born, it lives its life, and just before it starts to get to the point where it's getting old and it's going to suffer and die a horrible death, you slaughter it, you take it with a rifle or a bow or something, that is more humane than letting it pass away naturally. Let's see how he defends that position.
So he says that because there's a lot of suffering in wild animal deaths, that we should be killing these animals with bows and rifles, which first of all say he's appealing to nirvana in that all of the animals could be wild and free, which we'll get to why they can't be in a second, but not to get too gruesome, but people miss. And when they miss, it gets ugly and there's a lot of animal suffering as well. But now we can get to the math.
Yeah, dude, even if you miss, okay, if you miss really badly and that animal has to live for the rest of its life with an injury, then that's not good. But if you miss slightly, it bleeds out, it dies within an hour, that's still better than starving to death as an animal, as most old animals do. They succumb to disease and they starve, or they don't have water for a couple of days and they pass. But what you should probably be thinking about here, Mick, is we should learn how to hunt as young people, rather than relying on factory farming, the perfect world, which doesn't exist, but in the perfect world, and this is the argument here, in a perfect world, we could go out and harvest an animal from the wilderness that has lived a happy life, never seen a human, and I think that is a positive thing. We've learned how to hunt from a young age, and so we don't miss. We're skilled at what we do. Anyway, whatever. Mick doesn't really offer anything in this video. He's far too polite. He hasn't really gone off his head, which is upsetting. I thought he would be very angry. Yeah, I don't know about this Mick guy. He put up this study too. And basically in a British Journal of Cancer from the year 2000, they went out and they had 233 vegan men and 226 meat eaters and 237 vegetarians and measured their testosterone levels. And he just basically said this.
Vegans not only have equivalent free levels of testosterone, they had higher levels of total testosterone in vegan men from this study. So this really is a claim without any merit, and then he just tries to anecdotally reinforce.
They have higher levels of total testosterone in this study than the vegetarians and the meat eaters. Now, it's not by a lot, but it's certainly there. Okay, let's have a look at this from Mick's video. Let's have a little science lesson, shall we? Class is in session. Pull your seats in. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know what I'm fucking talking about, but here's something that I think's a bit weird. What Mick didn't point to is what the study said right there, that the sex hormone binding globulin from vegan people was much higher than the meat eaters. And what can actually cause that is estrogenic states and other things, aging and just being a slob, which means that the testosterone levels were, well, the same. So who were these men that they basically did this study on? And they didn't tell us that. Were they trained men? Were they fat men? Were they ugly men? Who knows? We don't know that just yet. But Mick's used this as basically an argument to destroy everyone's argument about testosterone forever. Fuck off, Mick. Now, Mick wasn't that fun. He was far too calm, cool, and collected. I'm hoping the next vegan that comes on here and destroys me is a little bit more of a lunatic. Let's have a look at Happy Healthy Vegan. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody hates vegans. That is a world-renowned truth.
Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy.
R.C. Bogan says to kill all animals. This guy looks like if you cummed in his wife, he'd say, oh, bless you.
Vegan. So big thanks to my moderator, Peter, for letting me know about this horrible, hateful video
Peter,
from
you
this
loser. This is a video from Happy Healthy Vegan says, oops, Isaac Butterfield just argued we should kill every animal. Oops, indeed.
Australian YouTuber. He thinks he's some kind of comedian. I've covered him maybe like 3 or 4 times over the past like 7 or so years for making hateful, bigoted videos just full of lies and misinformation about veganism, and this one is no exception.
Everybody hates vegans. That is a world-renowned truth. They're bad people with terrible ideas and just terrible awful opinions.
Alright, so that's quite a lot there. Did you hear that, guys? Take note. If you're vegan, if you decide to eat...
Of course we fucking heard it. We're watching your video, you dipshit. Okay, here's Happy Healthy Vegan's attempt to discredit what I said about animals dying in the wilderness and people harvesting them before they go through suffering. let's see what he has to say.
Here, it's pretty clear. He's talking about what happens, or at least what he believes or fantasizes happens to wild animals, not animals that are in captivity.
I tend not to fantasize about anything that is an animal. You fucking weirdo.
I mean, that's just completely absurd. I mean, as someone who studied philosophy, I was in a PhD program.
What I'm saying is, should we? In the same way that Jade's using this analogy that, you know, if I enjoy hurting children, I should be allowed to do it. And this is the same as saying, oh, if I like eating meat, I should be allowed to do it. What I'm asking is, in a perfect world, wouldn't that be better to take an animal's pain and suffering away by killing it immediately in the wilderness?
I almost fell out of my chair when I first heard him say that, because this is one of the craziest arguments you could ever come up with. Let me spell it out for you. His argument.
Please.
This is his, not me making crap up. This is the argument that Isaac Butterfield.
I understand that not everyone could ever do this, by the way, because we all work busy lives and we're not all close to the wilderness and all that type of stuff. But in a perfect world,
Premise 1, humans ought stop animal suffering, meaning we have some kind of moral obligation to stop animal suffering.
isn't that your entire fucking life, dude?
Premise 2, animals suffer, as you said,
Premise, not permis.
from disease, starvation, and predation. Premise 3, animals can no longer suffer when they are dead. Yes, that's indeed what he said. So the conclusion is,
yeah, exactly.
humans ought to kill animals to stop them from suffering.
Yeah, when they're old, dude. That was the most important
So
part.
basically, this horrible logic is an attempt to justify killing animals as a compassionate act. We're killing the animals for their benefit so that they will not experience future suffering or pain. But what's completely bonkers about Isaac's
I haven't been called bonkers since I was fucking 6, bro. Thank you.
whole argument here is how he, in premise 2, mentions how animals suffer in ways like, say, disease, predation, starvation. These are typical types of suffering that happen to animals in the wild. And again, he is
It was about the wild.
talking about animals in the wild. He did mention animals are living in the wild.
Animals born, they should live in the wild.
He showed the forest and everything. However, he seems to be making an argument for ethical factory farming or local farming or something like that. But typically, like I said, animals that are in captivity don't die from disease, starvation, and predation.
Okay, happy, healthy vegans fucking had a few too many magic mushies and he's gone off the deep end. There's one more I want to show you. Let's have a look. This is vegan gays, and maybe someone we need to look into in the future.
Isaac Butterfield. It's been a while since I've made a video on this anti-vegan.
You've made a video on me before?
It seems his opinions haven't changed too much.
She looks like she's a
explore
vegan.
the nonsense.
Everybody hates vegans. That is a world-renowned truth. They're bad people. I don't have time for you, lady. Surely not. There's a 30-minute video here. You're talking throughout it. I don't want to hear it. I can't.
And he acknowledges, now, fair enough, this is a hypothetical, and hypotheticals are important. But he says...
Hypotheticals are important. Imagine a world without hypotheticals.
This isn't something we do anyway, so that's important to note. But his retort to this is, well, you know, more animals are killed to feed people plants than they are versus to feed people with one cow.
The fact of the matter remains that more animal souls are lost when you harvest plants than when you harvest one cow. And that's how we should all live. We should all eat one animal until it's all gone, all that type of stuff. Now, that's not what we do, but that is how we should operate. That's the most ethical way.
So, well, more people should do this, but we don't do this. I'm thinking maybe people are going to need more food than that. But if you're going to make that claim, then you need to
No. If you're, say your family has a cow in the freezer, then you can just live off that, right? And some veggies and shit and a bit of corn, you know? That's all you need.
If vegans are responsible for all of the deaths that are involved in a given practice, then we need to lay out the data when it comes to...
No, they're not. But what I'm saying in that whole thing is more souls are taken harvesting a loaf of bread than they are killing one cow. Mice, crickets, the whole fucking thing, right? And if you're here protecting animals, then you should care about all of them.
If we're all going to
Or is it
have
just the
one
big
cow,
ones?
we're going to need then 8 billion cows. We're going to need to take into account the animals who the cow kills by stepping on them.
Okay, we're not going to need 8 billion cows. We could have different animals. Other animals exist, right? You do know that. And that's over an entire year, okay? Or just give the cows to the good countries.
All the foliage and the animals who were killed during the destruction so that we could have all this grazing land for 8 billion
Foliage?
cows.
fuck off.
So as he acknowledges, we don't actually do this. So I would really be interested in seeing Isaac's actual diet and then comparing the deaths. But then again, vegans are going to be more concerned with exploitation.
That's never been a reason someone's wanted to look at my diet before, but I'll go through what I ate yesterday. Are you ready, kids? I make a protein mush thing in the mornings. It's actually quite nice. I put 2 scoops of whey protein in a bowl, and then I add in some baking powder, and I have some sugar-free syrup on top of that. I put it in the microwave. It makes some protein fluff. It's quite nice. A few hours later, I had some chicken. That was quite nice. I had cauliflower rice with it. Oh, wow. In the afternoon, I had 2 chocolates. Go me. Addie bought chocolates at the shops and I had 2 of them. For dinner, I made chicken burgers. They were very good with sweet potato fries. Yum, yum. It had some salad on it, which wasn't as good. Then after that, I had a nice little protein, sugar-free fucking ice cream, which are quite nice. The Jim Bros one. Well done to them. And I had some of my wife's pudding. That is not a euphemism. Or is it? I shouldn't have had the pudding. I felt sick afterwards. Anyway, that's what I ate. So go for it, lady.
There may be some intention embedded in that as well. Say, for example, with cars in the human context. We understand by having
You can't beat that argument. You can't beat that argument. You take more souls, okay? You are the soul harvesters. Vegans are the soul harvesters of the animal world. If you had all of the animals collected into one animal heaven and they put up this fucking, they all stood around and they go, who keeps killing us the most? It's those fucking veggie munchers, isn't it? They fucking just care. All the worms are pissed off. They're like, you're taking all the nutrients out of the soil with your fucking cabbage, you Fact of the matter remains, ladies and gentlemen, we don't like vegans. No one likes vegans. Everybody hates vegans. They're bad people, and fuck them to the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this wild ride. It was a wild ride. I don't know where this video was going. We went down a lot of rabbit holes, but I want to thank you for your time. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stinks. I'll see you in the next one. Tout au revoir. Bye-bye.